Joining me now, Larry Holder of the Times-Picayune and NOLA.com. Larry, thanks for your time, as always. Rookie Terron Armstead, a big story this week, attracting a lot of attention. Is he really a viable option at left tackle? And if so, what are some of the concerns moving forward if he actually wins that job?
Well, I think he's absolutely a viable option. You wouldn't draft him in the third round, and it's wide open. Left tackle is wide open. We've seen Charles Brown go from the 1s to the 3s this week. Although it's early, but still, to see that fall from someone who actually started last year is certainly eye-opening. Jason Smith, he jumped from the 1s down to the 2s after 2 weeks of OTAs. Now, minicamps, I'm curious to see where it all goes. But, yeah, I think Terron Armstead is absolutely a viable option because right now it's completely wide open. Now, of course, the concerns are he's a rookie.
Sure.
And he's coming from Arkansas Pine Bluff, a SWAC school, not exactly playing SEC talent week in and week out. But if he wins a job, he's athletic enough. Drew Brees talked about it, that if he wins a job, of course, he's going to have confidence in him. Because if he wins a job, he will have beaten out 2 veteran established guys who haven't really cut it in the NFL.
And Armstead seems to have self-confidence, which is huge. Your early impressions just in speaking to the young man?
Yeah, what you have to have confidence. And he knows he's fighting a battle, but he knows coming into this that there was an opening for him. Right on draft day when you talked with him just via conference call, you could tell he had an opportunity, and he's got to come in and win it because someone has to win the job. I don't think they're just going to hand it to someone. He still has to win it. But to be with the 1s already 2 weeks in, and again, we'll see more coming up in minicamp, he's got to have some confidence going in that the coaches already feel like maybe he can handle this job right off the bat.
Very impressive start so far. Receiver Joseph Morgan trying to hold on to a job. He was back on the practice fields this week following his arrest for a DUI. Does that hurt his chances of progressing with the franchise? What does he have to do to maybe get back in Sean Payton's good graces?
Well, don't do it again because you'll probably be cut. But I think what they're going to do, it's the first time he's really ever done something like this. Sean Payton said he's talked with him, and he hopes it's a learning lesson for him and a learning lesson for other players that they don't do this, even though, of course, you're innocent until proven guilty. But still, they don't want anyone to be in that situation or putting themselves in that spot. I still see Joe Morgan as the number 3 receiver going into the season. Could the NFL come take some money out of his pocket because of this? Possibly, but there's not going to be any suspension. And Joe Morgan, he's not someone, again, he's someone who's been there for a couple of years. Sean Payton likes what he brings to the table. I don't anticipate Joe doing something like this again. You never know. But I don't think it really affects him on the team. He's going to be fighting for that number 3 job. And right now, for me, it's his to lose because of what he did last year and how well he's progressed in last year going forward.
Number 1 quarterback, number 9, Drew Brees, enjoying a normal offseason for the first time in a few years. How key is that aspect, along with the return of Sean Payton and allowing this offense to hopefully fulfill its potential in 2013?
I don't think you can even put a value on it because it's so valuable. You bring back Sean Payton and you bring back Drew Brees, considering Brees wasn't there for the OTAs at all, wasn't there for the minicamps at all last year with his contract dispute, and Sean Payton being gone. I mean, those are 2 guys that, again, you can't put a value on that. So obviously it's going to help them move forward. And you can even see it within the players and even on the field, just how practices are going and how everyone is ready to get back on the field. Forget the bounty chip on their shoulder. You have all the guys and all the pieces back, and that makes the Saints a much better team.
An interesting tidbit from OTA so far, backup QBs. Seneca Wallace, a new look. How has he been out there on the fields, and what kind of role can he play with this offense?
It's definitely a battle for the number 2 quarterback spot. It's Luke McCown and it's Seneca Wallace. Both quarterbacks, to me, have actually made some good throws. It doesn't look like Seneca has been away from the game for an entire year, which he was last year. And Luke McCown has a heads up. He knows the offense. He was with the Saints a little bit last offseason. So, I mean, that's going to be one of those underrated values. Now, for Saints fans, if these guys ever see significant playing time, it's not going to be good for the Saints because that means Drew Brees is out. But that's one of those battles you look. And Ryan Griffin, a lot of people are going to look at him, Tulane product. To me, he's probably more of a practice squad guy, but even at times he's looked solid during practice. So some positives behind Drew Brees in that backup quarterback spot.
Do you see Wallace maybe bringing that read option attack, just a wrinkle to the Saints offense? Will Sean Payton really go for that?
Probably not, because even when he's had a lot of experience as a backup quarterback playing as a starter, because he's had to come in Cleveland, he's had to do it in Seattle. I don't think that's why they brought him in, and I don't think that at his age they don't see him as that. So maybe it might help during practice if you're practicing against, say, a 49ers going up to that week, but that's not really why they brought him in. They think he's a viable option as the backup quarterback, as in a traditional offense.
All right, finally, the running back position. Larry, how's the depth chart starting to play out, and can Travaris Cadets really emerge and challenge the frontline backs for playing time?
It's going to be interesting to see because he doesn't know Sean Payton. Sean Payton doesn't really know him. As far as the depth chart, you know the three guys. It's Pierre Thomas, Mark Ingram, Darren Sproles. Right. They're interchangeable. But right now, in these first couple of weeks, we've been seeing Pierre Thomas and Darren Sproles with the ones and Mark Ingram with the twos, and then you've been seeing Cadet with the threes. So Cadet has to earn his job. He definitely has to earn his roster spot. He didn't play that much last year because, I mean, there were 5 running backs if you included him. But now that Chris Ivory's gone, there's probably a spot for him. But he's got to prove himself, and that's another one of those little mini battles we'll have to watch out in camp.
Offensively, there's always plenty of potential as long as Drew Brees is under center. The Saints offense once again this year. All right, Larry, we'll be back in just a few minutes.